So I'm going to move on to another aspect of the nerves, and let's talk about spinal injuries. Now, when I'm talking about spinal injuries, I'm not just talking about spinal cord injuries, although that's the biggest part of it. We'll get, because you can have, say someone had their spinal cord damaged or even severed. Okay, then they're really going to experience this. But you might have just had a back injury, where it's just affecting the nerves, maybe not fully, but to a certain degree, those nerves are being clamped on or impinged, and they're not getting full conduction. And that can certainly affect your erections. Either way, spinal cord injury for sure, but even just back injuries, okay, can affect this. So first of all, let's look at where the nerves come out of the spinal cord that affect our erections, okay, that cause our erections. We got two different aspects of this, okay? We've got the psychogenic pathway and we've got the reflexogenic pathway. Now, the psychogenic pathway happens here at T11 through T11 through L2. So that's thoracic 11 through lumbar 2. So that's pretty low down on the spine. And what we mean by psychogenic is that that's your sexual erections. When I talk about sexual erections, like when you're in the bedroom, the things that when our mind is involved, right? We think of things that are arousing to us, and then we get an erection, right? That's the psychogenic erection, okay? The reflexogenic doesn't involve the mind like this. This happens straight right here at the sacral complex, the S2, S4, that's your sacrum, right there at your tailbone, the nerves that come out of there. That is much more, that happens like when you need to urinate, or more of the stuff that's happening like with morning wood, things that aren't involving the arousal system. So I'm going to talk about two things here real quick. If, say you did have a spinal cord injury, someone had a spinal cord injury, if it's above here, if it's below here, if it's below L2, okay, so this is all still functioning, then you can still get psychogenic erections. In other words, if you think of something arousing, then you can still get an erection if it's low enough, right, below L2. But the reflexive ones go away. If it's severed, there's different levels of injury. It may just be somewhat decreased. But that's important to understand, is that even with a spinal cord injury, you can still get erections, but it depends on what level. If you had a spine one above T11, then it's going to affect both sexual and reflexive erections. Okay, so it all depends on the level you're getting it. But what I want to talk about here is this psychogenic, okay, and the reflexive. Once again, this involves the mind. So let's go back here real quick, and I want to put this in context on the impact point matrix. So once again, if we're looking at that psychogenic, the sexual erection, this is where it's being affected. See the mind here, right up in here, the mind, okay? And in other words, because arousal happens in the mind. So when you think of something arousing, you can still get that erection. When we're talking about the reflexogenic, which is down in the sacrum, that's about pleasure. Okay, that's about being stroked, feeling pleasure through being physically manipulated. It's not a fantasy you're having in your mind. Okay, it's actual physical touch, physical stroking, either on or near your genitals. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to put that in context of how that looks on the impact point matrix. The same thing here. It's just showing how those nerves create the production of CGMP, and there's the PDE5 inhibitors. We talked about that in other workshops. Now we're going to move on to chronic stress. When it comes to getting throbbing, stage 4, rock hard on command, and lasting as long as you want in the bedroom, both permanently and naturally at any age, the first step is understanding exactly what is going on under the hood of your manhood.
Because if a man doesn't understand the basic mechanics of how his manhood works, how can he expect anything he tries to work? He just ends up throwing punches in the dark and then is frustrated when everything he tries stops working and makes his hardness and lasting power worse over time, conveniently leading him to more and more extreme treatments that further destroy his manhood and his ability to perform in the bedroom. So if this is a priority for you and you would like to finally get off a big pharma's hamster wheel, keeping you trapped, broken, and desperate, then you're going to want to set aside about 75 minutes to watch this free training I made just for you that's going to allow you to finally understand the ecosystem behind your manhood and bedroom performance. Like fixing a leaky pipe, you can't just drywall over it or you'll end up with a house full of black mold. You have to fix the source of the leaky pipe if you want permanent results that will last a lifetime. So I put a link in the description to claim a 24-hour access pass to my new masterclass that will take you by the hand and show you exactly what's going on under the hood. So you can finally understand exactly what methodologies, frameworks, and systems that our guys are using right now to conquer their bedroom performance permanently and naturally at any age. So go ahead and click the link in the description and I'll see you inside the masterclass. Xander Holt, signing off.